Joining us now is Kell Smith, Executive Director of the Mississippi Community College Board. Kell, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Gerard, absolutely. Thanks for having me out.
All right, so this is a new role for you.
It absolutely is. I've been with the agency since May of 2008, handling different roles and capacities. And a few weeks ago, the board named me full-time executive director. I'd been interim since July of 2021, so I'm humbled and honored by the confidence the board has shown in me by giving me this opportunity.
Congratulations. That is awesome. So I saw you at the Capitol yesterday. I know it's a big week at the Capitol, of course, getting these bills out of committees and on the floor and voted, so forth. They were up there for a while last night. We've been talking about it. Yeah. What are you watching?
So we've got a couple of bills out there that we're highly interested in. One is a dual credit scholarship bill. In case you're not aware, dual credit is the program that allows high school students to simultaneously enroll at a community college in high school and earn credit on both the secondary and post-secondary transcripts. It's a great program. It's highly successful, very popular. Financially, it's an issue for the colleges, and so we've come together with the universities and the Department of Education to try to come up with a solution that would make it fair for all parties involved and provide equal access to dual credit across the state. And so we're pushing for a scholarship program that will provide up to 15 dual credit hours for students that would take dual credit at a community college, university, or a private college. Obviously, we're highly interested in the financial aid redesign bills that have been introduced, and those have the opportunity to really transform post-secondary education by providing additional resources to students to attend the public and private institutions. And then obviously just general appropriations. We'll see how that shakes out in the next few weeks as well.
How are they doing financially? How many do we have, 15?
We got 15 community colleges across the state. They're doing well. Could always use additional funds. Their top priority this year for the system, from a funding standpoint, is funds for salary improvements. They are struggling with recruiting and retaining qualified faculty. The last few years, the K-12 pay raises that the legislature and the governor have approved have been a challenge for the colleges because the local school districts of which they are competing for instructors are able, in some instances, to pay more money than the community colleges can. And so the community colleges have such a unique void in the state. They fill such a unique void in the state with adult education, academic classes, career tech, workforce. And so an issue that they have is having qualified instructors, particularly on the career tech side. Mm-hmm. You've got the allied health instructors, or your nursing folks who are trained and qualified to practice nursing in other health industries, but if they would take a significant pay cut, or they do take a significant pay cut to be an instructor. So that is a challenge for them for sure when it comes to not just recruiting but retaining as well faculty.
How are the curricula? How are they evolving, Kell, given all the dynamics with technology and just the needs of the workplace these days?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one thing that I'm proud of the role that we play at the agency. We're the coordinating board for the state's 15 colleges, and we have a curriculum division. We've had it for about 6 or 7 years now. That division works with business and industry to align curriculum with what's needed, because we don't need to be teaching programs and classes and then folks enter the workforce and what they've been taught and skills they learned don't align with what's needed by business and industry. So we collaborate well with business and industry. Last year, I think we designed 25 career pathways to make sure that what's being taught, what's being learned aligns with what's needed in business and industry. Because we need these folks, when they graduate from a community college, when they earn a certificate, to be able to go into the workforce and begin employment immediately.
Something that impressed me when we did the show up there last year was the community up in Starkville with East Mississippi Community College. Yep. That, Kell, just impressed me so much, and I felt like, gosh, this is a model that we need to replicate throughout the state.
It absolutely is, and they have a beautiful, wonderful facility up there on Highway 82 and outside of Columbus, between Columbus and Starkville, and it's a great example of what happens when you collaborate together with the local school districts, and the state provided funding to construct the facility, and so it's just a wonderful example of how we are better together. And that, what I mean by that is that the high schools working with the community colleges can seamlessly get these folks, through the educational pipeline into a high demand, high skilled career.
And the private sector entities in the area and even outside of the area, they've totally embraced this concept, have they not?
They absolutely have. And most of our community colleges have amazing partnerships with business and industry. Here in the capital city area, Hines Community College, the partnership they have with KLLM, with the truck driving,
right.
The Diesel Academy on Highway 49 with Empire Stribling, just a great example of sometimes the colleges may not have the financial resources to operate these programs because they are expensive to get up and running. But by partnering with business and industry, you can fill those needs and have these just really robust programs.
And it's truly designed so that when a student graduates from those programs, they're ready to go to work.
From day one, you're exactly right, and that's what we need. Like a second ago, we need these folks entering the workforce. We don't need them to get a job and then have to have some type of remedial skill training. It's our goal for them to enter the workforce from day one to be contributing members of the state's economy. So
much more attractive and valuable to an employer when they know that they're hiring a person that they can place in the work environment and be productive day one.
And that's why that curriculum that we talk about, we need to make sure that what we're offering aligns with what's needed.
Yeah.
The business industry, they're the ones out in the field. They're the ones that are hiring these folks. And so we need to make sure what's being taught and learned is what is needed.
Yeah. Now, how much do you collaborate? You touched on it a bit with high schools. You think about the various parties with which and with whom you integrate, the high schools, the private sector, the four-year colleges. How much do you guys work together?
Absolutely. We work incredibly closely with the universities. We have something that we're particularly proud of, our articulation agreement. That's for the academic side of the house. With all 8 public universities. What that means, if you graduate with an Associate of Arts degree, you can seamlessly transfer to a university and not lose credit. Back several years ago, before we had the articulation agreement in place, you'd have kids that would graduate with an AA, transfer to university, and lose hours. Well, that's not happening anymore. That serves 2 purposes. One, it shortens the length of time they're at a university, and number 2, it reduces the cost. The colleges also have articulation agreements with some universities out of state. I know Gulf Coast Community College, I think, has some in place with the University of South Alabama. We work very closely to make sure that our classes align with what the university is looking for. And so, that's another partner that we have in the whole, ecosystem of post-secondary education.
Yeah. Looking in the crystal ball here, Kell, to the extent you can, where do you see higher ed going?
We have to evolve for sure. Career tech is such an incredibly important piece of the state's economy, and that's a unique niche that the community colleges offer. Mm-hmm. Right now, about 20% of our overall headcount enrollment is career and technical education. I think that percent needs to increase so that we can get folks entering the workforce. We talked about earlier the delivery of higher educational opportunities. We have the virtual community college that allows folks to take classes at their pace, at their leisure, if you will. If you're not able to physically attend a classroom, the virtual community college is set up that allows you to take classes at your pace, if you will, still have access to resources, libraries, and instructors. When COVID hit in March of 2020, our folks put in a lot of time and effort to seamlessly transition that semester to the online tool. And so if it weren't for the online learning, we really would have been up a creek. And so that's just
amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're more well-versed in technology than I ever will be, but it's incredible the stuff that's going on.
You know what always astonishes me when I think back on it, when we really brought web conferencing to the state. We were one of the first WebEx partners. They invented that. And that was back in like 2004.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get people to use it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that kind of stuff. I want to see people. And then Now everybody uses it virtually every day.
That's exactly right. But it doesn't replace the face-to-face
That's
interaction.
right.
But if you need just to hop on a quick
That's
Zoom,
right.
we've got our folks scattered across the state, so it's a lot more convenient for quick meetings and allows you to
Very powerful tool.
save time and money.
Yeah, it is awesome, and it's just amazing how that's sort of transitioned to that level of acceptance and adoption. But we were pushing it back then, and it was a little bit tougher sell.
That's exactly right.
Yep. Kel, appreciate you coming in. Great update, and great job. All the community colleges, you and I were talking, had the pleasure and privilege of working with them quite a bit. They're fantastic institutions, and they do a great job.
They
Appreciate
really
it.
do. Thanks for everything you do, Gerard.
You got it. Kell Smith, Executive Director of the Mississippi Community College Board, has been our guest on Middays. We're stepping aside for a break.